There are some places in the world that they feel impossible. Today, we're exploring one of them, a city carved straight into desert cliffs, a city that was hidden from the world for centuries and built by a civilization that absolutely mastered the impossible. This is the story of Petra, the legendary Rose City.
Petra is not your average ancient city. It is a massive, one-of-a-kind metropolis carved directly into these amazing red, white, and pink sandstone cliffs. For hundreds of years, it was this bustling capital. And then, it just vanished. It basically fell off the map for the Western world, a secret kept safe by the local Bedouin people until it was reintroduced in 1812. And that right there, that's the central mystery, isn't it? We're not talking about some tiny settlement here. This was a major international trading hub. So how in the world did its builders, the Nabataeans, not only survive but create this thriving oasis in one of the driest landscapes on Earth? Well, the answer is a story of absolutely incredible engineering.
All right, so first things first, let's really get a feel for what Petra is. To truly understand this place, you have to appreciate its sheer scale and its significance, because I promise you, it is so much more than that one famous building you always see in pictures. I love how UNESCO puts it. They describe Petra as half-built, half-carved, and that phrase just captures it perfectly. Sure, there are some regular buildings, but the most spectacular stuff, the tombs, the temples, the grand halls, they are literally hewn directly out of the mountainsides. It's this breathtaking blend of human art and natural geology.
And make no mistake, Petra's importance on the world stage is huge. Back in 2007, a massive global poll named it one of the new 7 wonders of the world. Think about that. It's right up there with the Great Wall of China and the Roman Colosseum. It's officially recognized as one of the most awe-inspiring achievements of all time.
Okay, to really get the magic of this place, you've got to put yourself in the shoes of an ancient traveler. Because the entrance itself, it's like a piece of theater, a masterpiece of natural drama designed to build suspense with every single step.
So, your journey starts in a place called the Sick. It's this narrow canyon that just twists and turns for over a kilometer. The rock walls on either side soar up to 80 meters high. Sometimes it feels like they're going to swallow the sky whole. And as you walk, you can still see the old water channels carved right into the rock walls, the very thing that brought life to the city. And just when you think the canyon will never end, it opens up. And bam! There it is. One of the most iconic sites in the entire world. Al-Khazneh, the Treasury. Its façade is just magnificent, this incredible blend of their own Nabataean style and Greek influences, all intricately carved and standing almost 40 meters tall. Now, despite the name Treasury, which came from a local legend about a pharaoh's hidden treasure, scholars are pretty sure it was actually the massive tomb of a Nabataean king. But here's the kicker, the Treasury? That's just the welcome mat. The city itself is enormous. You've got to be willing to climb a bit. We're talking 800 steps cut right into the rock, to find Deir, the Monastery, a monument that's even bigger than the Treasury. You can wander through the street of facades and see the royal tombs, this whole row of grand mausoleums. And just to give you a sense of scale, they even carved a massive theater out of the hillside that could seat thousands of people. So this all begs the question, who on earth could build something like this? Well, that brings us to the incredible builders of Petra, the Nabataeans. We'll meet the Nabataeans. Now, these guys started out as a nomadic tribe, but they were incredibly savvy. They knew this spot was a gold mine for controlling the major trade routes. They essentially became the middlemen for all the luxury goods moving between East and West. We're talking frankincense from Arabia, silks from China, spices from India, and all that trade made them fabulously rich.
But all that money doesn't mean a thing if you can't get the one resource the desert won't give you: water. And how they solved that problem? Well, that's what takes them from just being rich traders to being absolute geniuses of engineering. They looked at this harsh, unforgiving landscape and figured out how to master it.
This wasn't just a couple of wells, okay? Their system was incredibly sophisticated. First, they built dams and tunnels to protect the city from dangerous flash floods. Then, they carved all these intricate channels and laid pipes all over the place to capture every single drop of rain. All that water was then funneled into hundreds of huge underground storage tanks or cisterns.
And the payoff for all this brilliant engineering? At its absolute peak, Petra was home to an estimated 30,000 people. Just try to wrap your head around that. 30,000 people, with gardens and fountains and pools, all thriving in the middle of a bone-dry desert. Their engineering didn't just let them survive, it let them build a paradise. But
As the story so often goes, the good times couldn't last forever. Petra's history is this really dramatic story of a spectacular rise, a slow decline, and then, much later, a kind of rebirth in our modern world.
So for about 5 centuries, Petra is the place to be. The story shifts in 106 AD when the powerful Roman Empire annexes it. But then came the 1-2 punch that would seal its fate. In 363 AD, a massive earthquake wrecked the city and, most importantly, it destroyed their life-giving water systems. Around the same time, traders started using sea routes more and more, making a desert city like Petra pretty obsolete. People slowly left, and eventually, the city was abandoned, just fading into legend until 1812. That's when a Swiss explorer, get this, disguised himself as a local so he could be guided to the ruins of the lost city.
So, just like that, Petra is back on the world map. But its rediscovery has brought a whole new set of very modern challenges for this ancient wonder.
Yeah, trying to preserve a city carved out of soft sandstone, it's a monumental challenge. I mean, wind and rain are constantly eroding it, and while tourism is absolutely vital for the local economy, the sheer number of people walking on these ancient steps puts a ton of pressure on the site. Flash floods are still a risk, and you also have to balance all of that with the need for modern hotels and roads to support both the visitors and the people who live there.
And that leaves us with this really tough question, doesn't it? Petra is a masterpiece that was born from conquering a harsh environment. But now it's that same environment, plus our own love for the place, that's threatening it. So how do we share this global treasure with the world while also protecting it forever? How do we make sure that the city that mastered the desert isn't ultimately reclaimed by it? It's a really delicate balance, and there are no easy answers.